Good day, one and all. My name is Kathy, and welcome back to this episode and all episodes of the Scrap and Crafty Gardener. I am doing better. I apologize for not being here most of last week. Had an upper respiratory infection and an abscess on my tonsil that grew back. But I'm better. My voice may come and go, but I have my strength back and energy back, and let's get started. I think this week pretty much I'm going to be working on Christmas/holiday cards, as I really need to get caught up on those, and I need a couple more sympathy cards. But anyhow, I'm going to be using GinaK's Winter Rose stencil that I got in my last haul. I want to give that a try. I'm going to be making a red card today, and it's going to be horizontal. So I'm using GinaK's Red Velvet. You can use any red that you want. This measures 10 inches by 7 inches. I scored it, at the 5-inch mark, folded it, and creased it with my bone folder. And then I have 2 pieces of white cardstock. These started out by 4 3/4 by 6 3/4, but I used the Waffle Flower 5x7 lacy layers, their largest scalloped die, to cut out 2 pieces. And these measure 6 3/8 by 4 3/8. So if you don't have this die set, you can just cut your paper straight if you want, or you could use some decorative scissors and make an edge. One piece is going to go on the inside, and I'm going to glue that down now because I'm not going to do anything with that. So I'm just going to glue this down flat. And I tried my glue out before I started, and once you know, it's giving me a hissy fit again. Get that little, I always keep a little pin here at my desk, just to, sometimes glue gets stuck. And there we go. Now, I think if I give it a good squeeze, I'll get it all over the place. I'll try once more. Get that out. I guess it wasn't ready for me to come back yet, but I'm ready to come back. There we go. It felt neglected because I hadn't used it all week. All right, come on, glue. Now, I'm just going to switch to my smaller bottle. My watch, it'll do the same thing. That's a full, and I just broke the cap off that. That's a full bottle, so it shouldn't, brand new bottle. There we go. Now, I had someone ask a question. She uses the glue I use, meaning the Tombow, but when hers dries, it tends to bow up and wrinkle. I just want to make sure I get this straight. I said, if you're having that problem, one, you might be using a little too much glue, but you can solve that by gluing it down. And then I told her to put something heavy on top until it's dry. Is that will keep it from warping. I won't need glue till later now. Let's get that tip back on there before I lose that and set the glue aside. And I can set my card front aside. Pardon me while I get a drink. Okay. Now, I have my Waffle Flower grip mat down here. If you don't have this, you can just tape your card down. And I always like to go at an angle. I don't know why. I guess it's from writing in school. This is a 4-layer stencil, and I'm going to want my rose almost over here to the edge. And since I'm putting it at an angle, and I want to make sure that the next layer lines up, I am going to take a piece of washi tape and mark my corners. That way I'll make sure I get the stencil in the right place. And I'm just going to mark these 2 corners. You could mark the bottom corner, but I'd have mine angled off of the mat. This is just a little placement guide. It has nothing to do with the coloring aspect. It's just so I get my stencil back in the same spot when I do the next one. Now I've chosen 2 reds. One's red velvet, and that's the color of the cardstock I used. And then cherry red, which is a little bit of a darker red. And so I'm going to start with red, and layer 1 is your lighter color. At least I'm going with a lighter color. And I'm just going to, yeah. And I'm just going to do a light layer. And I'm leaving the edges lighter. Okay, so I'm done with that layer. And I'm done with the red velvet. So I'm going to pick this stencil up. And that is really pretty. I'm going to set this aside. Now, the red inks will stain. I can use my tidy towel to clean this off. If you don't get to it right away, then you can use a little bit of rubbing alcohol to clean them off. All right, now I'm going to put down layer 2, and I'm just lining it up with my tape here. And that's not working for layer 2. It should, but it isn't. Well, that didn't work out. Or is it? Is it supposed to be off like that? I kind of don't think it is. But I must admit, I really didn't watch videos on this. And I'm going to try that. It's off a little bit, but I'm thinking this is how it needs to go, which would be unusual. All right. Then my cards are unusual, so if it's unusual, that's going to be okay. I'm just going with the darker red, and I'm going to go over, and I'm pressing a little harder this time because I do want the contrast to be there. I want really dark. I'm not squishing my bristles flat, but I am pressing. All right, let's see how that looks. Okay, I like. And this one's already, because the darker it definitely stains. So I will clean this one off with rubbing alcohol later, and it'll come back to its nice clearness. All right, well, hopefully my trick works for the leaves. Oh, you know what? Was that one? Yeah. Okay. Yep, that'll work for the leaves. Maybe I had that stencil wrong. No, I had it the right way up. Okay. Now for the leaves, I've chosen grass green for my lighter color and fresh asparagus for my darker color. So I'm going to go grass green first. And I just want a light coating on here. So I'm just going to go very light, but I'm going to swirl back and forth clockwise and counterclockwise so that you get a dark shading on both sides of the leaf. Because if you only go one direction, you'll only have a shadow one way. And I don't want this to be too dark. Okay, so I'm done with the grass green. It should be a fairly simple, straightforward card today. Oh, that is pretty. And I hope my voice is clear enough, loud enough that you guys can hear me. Okay. Let's see if this works lining that up. Now this one does. That other stencil must be off a little bit, but that's okay. All right, now I'm going to go with my darker green, which is the fresh asparagus. And again, I'm going to press down. Fresh asparagus is definitely a darker color. All right. if all went well, we're done coloring. Oh, I do like that. That is pretty. Of course, maybe this rose wasn't meant to have the white. If I pull back this one and put it where it's supposed to be, it would cover up some of the whiteness. And maybe that's what it was supposed to do. I'll have to look. I haven't really had a chance to look at a lot of videos lately. Okay, so I am done with my stencil. So I'm just going to wipe this off, pull up my washi tape. I'll have to look at videos on that rose. I do like it with the white showing, but I might try it, pardon me, with the white covered. Okay, so I'm done with this. I'm going to take my plastics, cover it back up. Now, the original plastics with this got too wrinkled, so I just used a sheet of acetate for the top and the bottom. Okay, now I'm going to rubber stamp my sentiment on here. And I have this old red rubber sentiment. It's got Christmas going up and down. May peace be your gift at Christmas and your blessing all year through. And unknown. It's a red rubber, old red rubber. Not red rubber, it's gray rubber. And I don't know what company this came from, but I really like that. So I want to put this there. Pardon me. Get another drink. Okay. Now, since this, I can't see through this, I'm going to put a piece of acetate down to do a temporary stamp to make sure that I have it straight. And I'm just going to use VersaFine Clair Nocturne. And I don't have to condition this. This is a really old stamp. Okay, I just want to see how that looks. It's a little cattywampus at the bottom, so I'm just going to slide it over a little bit. Clean off my acetate and try again. Yay, got it. Okay, so now I'll just clean off the acetate. Stamp it up. Okay, and rub it down. What I got stuck on there? Oh, from one of my cards the other. That's where that piece went to. I'm going to stamp it one more time. And you can use red rubber stamps in your MISTI. You just don't want to put too much pressure on your hinge. Oh, that came out nice. All right, now I'm going to put the ink cover back on, clean off my stamp. Put that back in its folder. I can pitch that. All right, now I do want to lift this up off the back just the littlest bit. So I'm just going to use this narrow thickness foam strips. Get my scissors here. And then I'm going to bling this up. And go across. And then I'm just going to do little pieces. I should have went across the end first, but I didn't. So this is how I'm making it work. Okay, now I'm going to put, let's see if this will work. Yep, there it goes. I just want to put a little bit of liquid glue on here. And now I'm going to stand up. Just to make sure I get that centered fairly well. I'm just going to use that. I need to get some rhinestones, just a moment. All right. Okay, now I want to do some Wink of Stella. See, I think I smudged a little bit of ink right there. Oh, I love those mono sand erasers. I want to make the rose sparkle, so I'm going to use my diamond stickles. And I'm going to come back and brush it on, but I'm just putting it here and there. And then I have my brush that I just used for stickles. I don't wash it because I like it to have a nice stiff end. It seems to allow smoothing better, and then you don't get bristles taking you out of the lines. Needs a little bit more on there. It's a little bit more there. You don't need a lot. A little will get you quite a ways. And it's another reason I don't wash the brush, because when you have a fresh brush, the bristles themselves will absorb a lot of the stickles. This way, the stickles are already on there, so the bristles can't absorb anymore. Oh, I missed someone here. And I'll show you, I'll bring the card a little closer up so you can see how this is just shining beautifully. And it isn't a card by me unless it has something glittery and shiny on it. Put a little bit down here and a little bit more on this one. Okay, now I don't think it needs a whole lot of other. I was going to do some rhinestones, but I think I have these clear gems that I think would look better on here. I'm just going to plop a few of them out because they haven't multiple sizes in this little pack that my sister-in-law got me. And they're just so clear and shiny that I think they will accent the card nicely. I don't think I want the real big ones. They almost look like water drops. Well, no, I didn't want it there. Thank you very much. Sometimes trying to get the gems to turn over the other direction where they're supposed to be is a little difficult. Okay, I think I like that placement, so I'm just going to use my small glue bottle and slide these aside while I put the glue drops down. Now when I pull up the card to show you, it'll look like the gems are a little cloudy, but that's just the wet glue behind them. And once that glue dries, you won't see the cloudiness anymore. Okay, let me take a look. All right, so I'm going to bring it up so you can see how that rose is just sparkling now. Just adds a little something. And the gems are clear, so you really can't see them on camera very well, but they add just a hint of sparkle on the white background. That is my card for today. Thank you so much for watching and for being so patient with me while I was away. But I am back now, and we will have fun together, I hope. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.